So in this video, I'm going to show you how to add a crossing signal sound into a PS2 engine that didn't originally have one. Crossing signal sound is made up of long toots and short toots. That is a long, long, short, long. So in order to create such a sound, we need to first have those sounds. So we're going to get those sounds from the engine itself. So I'm going to start up my ADPCM program. I've already loaded the file, the sound file for the engine that we're going to use, which is going to be the 20-3232-1 080 L-Equipa and Southern steam engine. I press the Analyze button, which will show us all the clips. I happen to know that clip number 41 is a great source for a short toot, so I'm going to select clip number 41. I'm going to press Export MP3. What that's going to do is that's going to export that sound as an MP3 file, which we don't actually need for this process, but it's also going to export it as a raw 16-bit file, and that's the file we will use. I'll show you those in a minute. The other sound we need is a long whistle, clip number 152. It's a good source for a long toot. So I go down, I press Export MP3 again, and I get our raw 16-bit version of that sound. So I'm done with the ADPCM program for now. I press Exit. We're going to use a program called Audacity to actually create the new sound. Audacity is a free program. There's links on my webpage for you to download it. I know very little about this program. I learned just enough to be able to do cut and pastes of sounds, and that's the extent of my knowledge. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the File menu, and we're going to say Import Raw Data. The first one we're going to import is this short toot, which if you recall was clip number 41. So I'm going to double click on that. It notes that it's assigned 16-bit, little endian, one channel monaural. I have to type in the sample rate, 11,025 in this case, and I press import, and there's our short toot. I can play this right in Audacity to show that it was successfully loaded. Then I'm going to load in the long toot the same way, importing raw data, going to 152 and double clicking on it. Audacity forces me to type in the sample rate over again. I'm going to import that. So there's our long toot. On the tracks menu, I can say add new mono track. So I'm going to create down here the crossing signal, which will be a long, long, short, long sound. Audacity lets you select the track by going to that track, pressing J followed by Shift K. I can press Control C to copy, come down to the new track, press J to go to the beginning of that track, press Control V to paste it. I can go to the end again by pressing K, and I can do another Control V. And then if I look at the entire track so far, I have two longs. Now I need a short. So I go up to my short toot, I do a J, Control K, followed by, a J followed by a Shift K, then a Control C, come down to my new track, press K to go to the end of that track, do a Control V. I can come down here and we can take a look at that again just to make sure. So here's our long, long, short. And I need the long toot again, so I come back to this one. I do a J, Shift K, Control C to copy it, come down to the new track, do a K to go to the end of that track, do a Control V to paste it. Again, I can look at the entire track. Here it is, long, long, short, long. I can delete these other two sounds. We don't need those anymore. You notice when I pasted these together, there's some amount of dead time between them. If you want, you can get rid of those. For example, if we wanted to get rid of this dead time here at the end, I can click on where I want my delete to start. I can press Shift K to go to the end of the file. I can do a Control X, and that chops it off. And you could go here and you could chop off some of this other dead time as well if you're interested. I'm not going to do it here. I don't really need it for this demonstration. So now I have this track So I need to export it. So I do the file menu, I say export audio. We're going to be exporting it as a raw headerless file and as a Vox ADPCM file. I'll explain to you what that's about in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is go here in the file name, and I'm going to change the extension to Vox. I'm also going to come in and change the clip number to 42. I happen to know that clip number 42 is the clip that engines play when you press the crossing signal button. So once I've made those two changes, I'm going to press the save button. It's just sort of warning me that I'm using a Vox extension. It's kind of complaining I don't care, so I'm going to say I do want to export this. Metadata I don't use. I just click through that. Now I'm done with the Audacity program, so I'm going to close it down. And I don't need to save the changes. If you want to edit additionally on this, you may want to save your work so far. So here's the folder that we've been working in. You can see the short toots, the 41s, and the long toots, the 152. And you can see right here, clip number 42.vox. So this is the Vox clip that we just created. It's a .vox file because that's all that Audacity can create. It can create ADPCM, but it doesn't know how to create the exact format that the sound file needs. The sound file needs a format called IMA ADPCM. So I've written a little batch file, which I have in my folder right here. And all I need to do is grab that Vox file, drop it on the batch file. It will start to execute. It will do the conversion. So here we have right there is the IMA file now, clip number 42. 11,025 sample rate, little endian. So once I've got that created, we're going to go back to the ADPCM file. I'm going to press Analyze again. I'm going to go down to clip number 42. So number 42, as I mentioned, is the clip that the engine will play when you press the SXS button. In this engine, it's empty. There is none. So I'm going to click on that clip, number 42. I'm going to press Edit Clip. The first thing I'm going to do is take that IMA file and I'm going to drag and drop it into the file name. Next thing is I'm going to make sure that Add a clip read from a file into an empty index location is selected. I'm going to press Set SXS soft key. I'm going to make sure that if we're noted at a level is a PS2, that it's a 4-bit IMA ADPCM format, that it's 11,025 hertz. I'm going to select that, and that it's a horn whistle sound. So I'm going to select that. Once that's done, I'm all set. I just press Do It. So now you see the index entry is no longer empty. I can play that sound. And once I have that, the file has been edited. It has that new sound in it. It has the SXS soft key in it. You can now take this file, this sound file, you can load it into your engine. You should delete it from your remote and add it again because we have changed the soft keys. Then you should see the SXS soft key. That's a mouthful. And you can press on that and you should now have a crossing signal sound in your PS2 engine.